ship mode column, for instance. I might say I want to duplicate for whatever reason, while doing your analysis or your transformation, you might want to create an additional column of a column or want to duplicate a column. Just come here, you can click on duplicate column. That means you have to duplicate this column. And I want to believe that if you right click here, you should be able to find the, I want to believe duplicate column, yes. So once you click on this, it duplicates that column you selected. If you select 2 or 3 columns, those 3 columns will be created. And whenever you duplicate or whenever an additional column is created, statusally, it moves to the end of the table. So any new column added moves to the end of the table. Then if you don't want it here, you can now start repositioning the column to whatever position you want it to be. How do you do that? Just click on the column, the new, you can see it's giving it a name, ship mode copy. That means it's a copy, it's a duplicate of ship mode column. So if you don't want it to be here, you can move it around the table, to the table, to whatever position you want it to stay. How do you do that? Just click on the header, just click on it, and here you will see move. If you want to move to the left, just click left. You can see it has moved to the left. You can see that it's now second to the last column from the right. If you want it move back to the right, click right to go there, it will go back to the position. If you want to move to the beginning, just click beginning, it will move all the way down to the beginning. You can see it is here, then alternatively, you can select it and drag it around and drop it in whatever position you want it to be. So that's how it was generally. You duplicate the column. If you don't want that position, then you take it away from there and move it to whatever position you like. Like I said, you can select 2 columns at the same time and create a duplicate. I want to believe so. Let me see. Remove. Okay, let me try. Oh, okay, fine. That means you can only do 1 at a time. Why? Okay, that means you can only do 1 at a time. So if you want to duplicate 2 columns, you select one, make a duplicate of it, then select the other one and make a duplicate of that. So that's how duplicate column works. You can see that when I selected 2 columns, here is grayed out. You can see it's grayed. That means you can't do more than 1 at a time. So that's how you duplicate a column. There's another one, index column here. There is index column is you want to create a list, and you want to number the rows you have now. There are about, I don't know how many rows are here, but I think there are so many rows there. I'm sure there are more than 1,000. I want to assume I can know that if I go back to the original data, but that's not really my concern. My concern is, okay, I want to number it. So that is where index columns come. You can choose any column you like to do that. You don't have to choose the first column. All you want to number the rows. You want to give it an index. It's like I want to number it. So just with any column selected, come here, don't forget, a new column will be created because you selected the add column tab. So we want to start from 0. So from index, you can choose from 0. So if you choose from 0, you can see it has numbered the rows and it created a new column. It's starting from 0 all the way down. There are reasons why you might want to do that. Maybe when we look at some cases, towards the end, you will see 1 or 2 reasons why you might need to index our column. And you might want to, that's one option. Then from 1, if I chose from 0, that's why it started from 0. If I had chosen from 1, the numbering would have started from 1. Let's go and see. Don't forget it to move to the end. You can see this has started from 1. The one we did earlier started from 0. Then again, like I said, I'm not particular about choosing any particular column. You can, with any column selected, you can index your column. That's what I mean. You don't have to say, okay, I want to use index, I have to select a particular column. No, it's all about any column you are on, you can apply your index and it will work fine because it's about the rows there. It's not about a particular column. So we are not indexing a particular column. We are indexing all the rows in the table. So we come here. If I choose, you can choose a custom index. And what does that do? It allows you to customize your indexing. You can say, okay, we want to start from 5. And what's the increment? I want to give an increment of 10. Depends on what you want to do. So that means you're expecting the first number to be 5, and the next one to be 15, and the next one to be 25, and so on and so forth. So, and that's what will happen. Don't forget to move to the end. So that's indexing. You can see starting from 5 to 15, 25, all to the end. So this is the first one. We start indexing from 0. This from 1. I think, okay, this is from 0. This is from 1. I don't know if I did another index here. I think I mistakenly did another index. I did this one twice. I don't know when that happened, but I'll remove that. Probably I pressed this and I didn't realize it. Or I don't even need to remove it. So I think we've gotten the basic idea of what indexing is all about. It's about numbering the rows in the table. And we have the time to quickly look at the last one, conditional column. So for conditional column, it's just a column that you create with values depending on some certain rules and conditions. You set those rules and conditions for you to create the values in that column. Unlike the other one, unlike duplicate column, where the values will be a duplicate of the column you selected. And index column, the value will be numbered according to your choice and the options you chose. Either you want to start from 0 or from 1, or you customize it. But this one will give you an output or an outcome based on the rule you set. So for that, that is a conditional column. To make use of that, let's look at one example. Let's look at this data set. Now, if you can, I prefer to look at it in Excel. This is conditional. Okay, I didn't conditional. Okay, this is just like a small data set, student's name, these are grade points, and this is their current level in the university, and this is the next level they will move to if they are promoted. So if someone is in 100 level, is promoted, it goes to 200. Someone is in 300, it gets promoted, it goes to 400. So that's just what. So it's a very simple data set, and these are grade points. And I want to be that we all know what grade point means. And we can say that, okay, we can want to create a condition here that, okay, for people that have grade points less than 2.0, they should be advised to withdraw from school. And for people that have, let's say, grade points greater than 2.5, greater than 2, between 2 and 2.5, let me put it that way, greater than 2, but less than 2.5. That means, in essence, less than 2.5. I will explain how that was, the logic behind that. Grade point, let me put it here so we understand. Grade point less than 2, you should be what? Advised to withdraw. Then for people that have less than 2.5, then she showed that, okay, that's the status fail. Then for everyone else, that means more than 2.5. So for more than 2.5, then you should see something like pass. So these are the conditions you want to set here, the status here. If it's less than 2, be advised to withdraw. If it's less than 2.5, that's a fail. But if it's more than 2.5, then that's a pass. So that's one of the methods, or one of the ways where we can use conditional, where we can apply conditional columns. So let's go here and see, this is the condition, this is the table we want to use, this is the data set, the one I just showed you now. So just click on, with the add column selected, we click on conditional column, and let's see how that can be effected. Now, what's the new column? You want to create a new, what's the, that's what's it called? That outcome, what's the name you want to give it? You can say, student status, whatever you whatever you think might fit the purpose. Then if column name. Now, if CGPA, here we are saying if GPA. When I say if something is less than, in essence we mean if GPA. So let's get that right. It's if GPA is less than this. So it's if GPA is less than 2, this is what should happen. So if GPA, so we are looking at this column. If the values in this column meets or satisfy a particular condition, this should happen. So let's get that right. That means if what is in this column, if the values in this column there are so many operators here. Here we want to use if it is less than a particular value, if it's less than 2. There are cases where we want to use this. We will get to that, in later times, But at this point, you can type into here. You can type in a text. When it's something like this, it's saying that you can type in a text or a number, or you can choose to select a value. Now there are 3 options here. Okay, let me just go to 3 options. No, there's one that says enter a value. Now let me remove this. If I chosen enter a value, that means I can enter 2. It's the same thing, but I just chose to just enter 2 straight because I don't need to come and say enter a value before I can enter my 2, but just to explain it, but if I select enter a column, that means you want to choose a value from a column. If grade point is less than this, choose what is in this column. But that's not what we are trying to do. We know our aim is that if GPA is less than 2, so we have it stated already. It's just English. That's why I love Power Query. It's not that difficult. If GPA is less than 2, rather than choose a column, I can choose a text, a number. If it's less than 2, then what will happen is the same thing. You can enter a value. You can let this output be a value from a column. That's not what you want to do. So to enter a value could be text or number. So I can say what should be is divide the output should be advised to withdraw. That's what I want to happen. If the GPA of a person is less than 2, then that person should be advised to withdraw. Let me add another condition. That's as the first one has been met. Then if else is another if, when you see else if, rather, not else, when you see else if, is another if on its own. So see it as another if. So don't interpret it another way, but just interpret it as another if. So if or else if GPA again is less than 2.5, then that's a fail. So then those are the 2 conditions. Then the last one is else. That means what this else does is this. It means check here. If it is less than 2, advise to withdraw. Less than 2.5, fail. Any other thing else, any other number, that is what is else. That means that number is not less than 2, it's not less than 5, it's not less than 2.5. Sorry. If it's not less than 2, it's not less than 2.5, that means the number is more than 2.5. Because apparently, any number that is not less than 2 and is not less than 2.5, it's another 2.5, that means that number is more than 2.5. That else means any number more than 2.5 or any number outside these 2 conditions, what should happen? That should pass. Pass. So we don't need to write this again. So every other number outside these 2 conditions will be assigned the output. This is output. This thing here is just output. And the output can be just the same. It can be a value, text a number, or select a column. So this everything. Let me just go over this again. If the GPA is less than 2, it should be advised to withdraw. That is output. This is what we will see in the new column. This output here will be what we will see in the new column. Then If the GPA is less than 2.5, fail. If it's else, it is pass. You might be wondering, okay, what if it is 1.8 and 1.8 is less than 2.5, is less than 2. So which one will be satisfied? Which one will be obeyed? Is it this or this? Because we said it is less than 2.5. 1.8 is less than 2.5. That means 1.8 will naturally satisfy these two conditions. But this is how the logic was. This is how it was. Where if the CGPA is 1.8, for instance, now the logic will look at the first condition here. Now, is 1.8 less than 2? If it is yes, it quickly implements this condition. It doesn't get the opportunity to move on to the next condition. I hope that is clear. Once it satisfies the first condition, it goes condition by condition, the way it is set. Let's say the CGPA is 2.2, for instance, now. So the logic picks it. Is it less than 2.2? No. So is it less than 2? Don't forget, I'm using 2.2 as an example now. It checks, is it less than 2.2? No. So it doesn't apply this logic. It moves to the next logic. Is it less than 2.5? Yes, it applies this logic. So that is how the logic works. It goes from one condition to the other. That's why there's no confusion. So there's no confusion. That means, in essence, this one means a number between 2 and 2.5. That's what this condition means. The number should be between, if the CGPA is between 2 and 2.5. So this condition, or that means it has satisfied this condition and not this. So if you just do okay now, so you will see the outcome. You can see the outcome now. So a new column is created with the name student status, and you can see CGPA of 3.2 got a pass. 4.21 got a pass. 1.08 is an advice to withdraw. 2.34 got a fail. Let's see 1.99. 1.99 is less than 2. Though 1.99 is less than 2.5 and less than 2, but it satisfies the first condition because it checks the syntax. Once the first is met, it applies that condition. So it doesn't move to the next condition. So this is how we use conditional column. We set our rules and we have the outcome based on the rules we set. So I think this is a good place to stop. So we're going to look at duplicate column, index column, and conditional column. I don't know if you have any questions as regards these three column types. These three add column types we've looked at tonight here.